What's up, everybody? We're back. We're in Norfolk, Virginia at the Dick Price Arena. We have Monday Night Raw. Finally booked it. Actually, I say finally, but by the time this episode goes up, or the next one, whatever, I believe this would be SmackDown episode 34, I've just started, rendering it in the background, so it's not that far off, so I know what I'm doing. But yeah, no, we have another episode of Monday Night Raw on the build to Survivor Series. I don't know what I was going to say. I am indeed an idiot. But we open up the show, much to the fans' disinterest and anger, as the whole of the dynasty, The Miz, Big Show, Kane, Triple H, Orton, and Stephanie, all playing tiddly dicks with each other. They're in the ring, and they basically just kind of, they basically just do their basic talk, Fuck indie wrestling, we're sports entertainment, we're taking WWE to the next level, all that sort of thing, I kind of, I hope, in the comments, I genuinely want to know if people understand what I'm kind of doing with the dynasty. It's the authority, but mainly the whole point is, Miz is great. So they talk about Miz, and, Miz, he would like to wrestle today, but he has to go all over the world. He has to go to a Jimmy Fallon interview tonight with the belt. Fuck out of here, nerds. He's not wrestling. And then Alex Riley comes in, and as you can see, Alex Riley just looks different. After beating the fuck out of Wade Barrett last week, Alex Riley comes down to the ring, and he's clearly disheveled, and he goes, "You," and he points at the Miz, goes, "This all started with you." And Miz is like, I have literally no fucking idea who you are. I've never seen you before in my entire life. And Alex is like, "Miz, it's me." And he's like, "Still, nope, I have no idea who that is." And Randy Orton's like, "Dude, that's Alex Riley." And Miz is like, "Alex Riley? God, you look like fucking shit. What the hell happened?" And Alex Riley says, "Miz, ever since you lost your title at WrestleMania 27, everything has been shit for me. My life has been shit. And in the span of the year, I had a great tag team with Mason Ryan and Common Ground, and I respect him. But I realized something, that I have to take control of my life. I have to take risks. And you know what I want to do? I want to beat the fuck out of you in that ring right now." And Miz is like, "Yeah, okay, why not?" Triple H is like, "Miz, don't." And Miz is like, "Look, I gotta wrestle. I gotta wrestle this guy. He's probably gonna, he's a danger. He's probably gonna beat the shit out of some kids in the crowd. I gotta take care of this." Triple H looks mad, but he's like, "You know what, fucking fine, whatever. Go fight Alex Riley." So Alex Riley versus The Miz is going to be our opening match of the evening in a 79B. Of course, The Miz defeats Alex Riley in about 10 minutes following interference from Kane, the insurance policy. They have good chemistry, which is interesting. But also during the match, we see Kofi Kingston running amok with The Miz. The blood feud, clearly. Kofi Kingston has not been in a level head ever since losing his WWE title. And then Wade Barrett coming in, avenging his ass beating from yesterday, which is pretty embarrassing, by costing Alex Riley this match. And the WWE champion cleanly puts away Alex Riley in 10-10. Next up, we have another, I honestly fucking forgot if I did this match, is a qualifying match, as we see Velvet take on Natalya in order to get in that big old fatal 4-way women's match for the gold at Survivor Series. And Velvet does secure her place with beating Natalya with a double knee backbreaker in 16-18. And then we have a Bray Wyatt promo, and Bray Wyatt, he's in the spooky, Wyatt thing, as we've seen multiple times before. But this time it's a little different. He has a projector. There's no spooky projector. It's just a genuine projector. And Bray Wyatt goes, "I want to show you all something." And he puts in the thing, and it starts to play. And as it plays, it's Ring of Honor footage that we've paid for. We didn't buy our Ring of Honor. I kind of feel like I have so much money, and I have gloated about that I think people would be, but no, Ring of Honor's still around. I believe Bobby Lashley is the world champion in Ring of Honor, so, cry if you need to. It's basically like Ring of Honor today. That's mean. But we see Bryan Danielson footage. Just Bryan Danielson being, especially the heel stuff, just being an asshole and just tapping people out, tap or snap. And Bray Wyatt goes, I wanted to show you folks all what the system, what you people have done to Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson was a man of honor, of wrestling tradition. A man that I say maybe could have beaten me in the ring. But Daniel Bryan, this yes movement, and he starts doing the yes thing, is a facade, it is a lie. It is not who you are. Well, at least it's who you are now, under the influence of these parasites. But Bray Wyatt's here to reverse that. Bray Wyatt is here to fix all of that, Daniel. Give up the yes movement. Join with me, and we can be together. So Bray Wyatt doing some spooky shit. And then the tapes of Bryan Danielson, the projector, you could kind of see, like, it zooms in on the footage, and it kind of burns. Like, you ever see, like, I can't remember that horror movie with the projector that it was, I mean, the movie sucked ass, but, you know, we get that kind of feeling. And then we have another segment in which we see Stone Cold, John Morrison, and Kofi Kingston. They're all talking, you know, they're discussing the battle plan for their Survivor Series match. And contradictory to some people in the comments, they seem pretty confident in themselves. They seem, they're discussing, but they're like, they're going over the various team members, and they're like, okay, we got to worry about these people, but these people we don't really have to be too concerned with. You know, we've beaten them before and everything. And then Austin Aries walks in, because Stone Cold's still the general manager, and he's like, look, I tried to talk to Triple H and them, but their doors are busy, they're playing this stupid match. I want Yujiro Takahashi. I want his U.S. title now. And Stone Cold's like, can I help you, nerd? Like, can I help you, Vanilla Midget? And Austin Aries like, I am the champion. I should be on your Survivor Series match. I am the belt collector. I am going to win all the titles here on Monday Night Raw. So you know damn well that I should be on your team. And Austin's like, I don't even know what the hell you want or give a shit. You want Yujiro Takahashi, fine. He's asked for you. But if you want to help, do you really want to help us on our Survivor Series team planning? And Austin Aries is like, yes, of course, I would love to help. And he goes, okay, fine, you get yourself a main event match. And Austin Aries is like, whew, main event of Raw. And he's like, oh man, that's pretty good. And he's like, yeah, you're going to face Kofi, fuck off. And then Austin Aries is like, oh, okay. All right. And he kind of, he's still cocky and there, but he's like, and he's the NXT champion. He should be proud to be. But Kofi is a man who you probably don't want to mess with right now, so he kind of regrets that. But the main event of tonight will be Austin Aries, the NXT champion, versus Kofi Kingston, a former WWE champion. Wow, it's actually really good. And speaking of Survivor Series teammates, we have Evan Bourne and Chris Jericho, two men who are kind of out and about, are practicing for their matches when Triple H comes in and knocks down into Chris Jericho, causing the Kings of Wrestling, the greatest tag team probably I have at the fucking moment, in a 95 8-star match to defeat the team in 1609 when Antonio Cesaro, because of the distraction, hits a Swiss death on Evan Bourne. And after that, Triple H is he's kind of scattered to the back, but in a rare showing, CM Punk kind of runs in, he chases Kings of Wrestling off, and he goes, oh, I think you guys know what it's time for. And he's still a heel, but he's definitely still a bad guy, Like, if this was John Morrison, since that whole thing, he probably wouldn't come to his age, but he basically sits down in the pipe bomb position. He goes, I wanted to talk about this whole dynasty shit real quick. And he goes, look, the dynasty, let's look at what they want. They want WWE to be the top promotion in wrestling. And as much as I hate that, it is, so that's completely useless. They want sports entertainment over regular wrestling. They want it to coexist, but they want sports entertainment to be at the top. First off, what really is sports entertainment wrestling? I don't know. Obviously we know there's types of it, but it's like, there's just pro wrestling. Like, this is a pro wrestling company. You book pro wrestling. Why do you even need there to be two types of pro wrestling? You're already at the top. But I see this for what it is. The last thing they want to push is a strong face for public relations in The Miz. That handsome young man, the, purebred white, just white meat baby face, he does the air quotes, to the public. The Miz is not that at all. Let's be real. To the world of wrestling, many people, while I do somewhat respect the talents The Miz has grown, he's a complete douchebag, and no one in this audience gives a shit about him. Outside of the arena, it is going to be the same. The common people aren't going to see The Miz as this kind of symbol of wrestling. They don't probably know who the fuck The Miz is. So when he goes on Jimmy Fallon tonight, he's going to get crickets. Maybe they'll make their minds up after he's seen it, but no one knows who that is. I see what's really going on here. And that's with you, Triple H. You became the CEO after John Cena basically murdered Vince McMahon and put him in a coma. But that wasn't good enough for you, was it? Nothing's ever good for you. Your ego knows no bounds. You had to be the star. You had to find a way to get on every night. So what do? You take over the flagship show, not only as CEO, but as its general manager. Now you can book yourself in matches. You don't even need matches, to be honest. You know your body's pretty old. You know you're an old piece of shit. But I know for a fact that you would love to book yourself into every backstage angle like you're doing right now. I completely would have, if you actually wanted The Miz to be up there, I probably wouldn't have given two shits. But you, Triple H, any chance I get to fuck you over after everything you've done to my career is a blessing. So yeah, I am on Survivor Series team. I am with these men, and he hasn't really done anything to help Jericho and Evan Bourne. They're still kind of like laying down after Cesaro beat the shit out of them. And he's probably like sitting on Evan Bourne as he's talking just to be a dick. And he's just like, yeah, no, fuck you, Triple H. I see what you're doing. So basically, he's just saying that Triple H is a piece of shit, and that's truly what he's after. Can we say that he's right? We genuinely don't know for now. And speaking of that, after commercial break, we see Pride and Honor. Speaking of Ring of Honor, the Ring of Honor champs are getting murdered. Well, Richie Steamboat wasn't in Ring of Honor, obviously. Sports Entertainment Security, The Big Show and Kane double choke slam Richie Steamboat, murder him in the ring and leave him for dead in about 9 minutes. It's surprised it took him 9 minutes, but apparently someone taught Richie Steamboat technical skills. I'm going to assume that is, of course, The Big Show. And after that, they basically just cut a promo. I don't really have anything to say about this promo. It's just them. They're looking badass is the point. I used the promo because it was easier. I didn't feel like going through the freestyle editor. I don't feel too good this week. I've been Thanos snapped. So I was like, yeah, I'll just use the promo. So they're just made to look big and scary, which will be playing into the Survivor Series planning. Maybe they're planning to take out The Big Show and Kane, work around their strengths and whatever or not, but who gives a shit? And then we basically have a promo with The Shield, basically talking about how The Shield are the shit and how they still run this yard. They're not taking orders from the Dynasty. They're working with the Dynasty somewhat because they have a decent vision. But and they talk about Chris Jericho, who they've been feuding with, in the past weeks. The Shield talk about how they run this yard. They are the legends. They are the champions of nothing. I don't know why I said they were champions. They basically put themselves over, is basically what they're doing. Dean Ambrose carried most of the promo work here. And in Descending 9B, Dragon Aces and R-Truth look to take on the Shield in 6-man, but the Shield come out on top, and Roman Reigns defeated Tanahashi by pinfall with the spear. The ace of modern-day WWE takes out the former ace of New Japan. Any improvements? R-Truth's improving in technical and performance. Dean Ambrose in performance as well. Always good to see, considering, they're all a pretty good match overall. And we just have a little hype video hyping up the official contestants for the women's 4-way at Survivor Series. The champion, AJ Lee, Spooky Witch Lady, Astra Dunla, Legend of the Business, Beth Phoenix, and Velvet, who's Velvet. Next we see a promo from Wade Barrett backstage talking about how Alex Riley is a giant dumbass. He should have expected this, considering he tried to murder Wade Barrett in the backstage like John Cena. And Wade Barrett officially makes a challenge. He looks disgusted that he actually has to challenge Alex Riley to a match, but he goes, Alex Riley wants to play with weapons. Survivor Series, let's have a street fight, and the crowd is like, because they don't really give a shit about an Alex Riley Wade Barrett match. But yeah, Alex Riley looking to become a Tommy Dreamer of sorts in a street fight with Wade Barrett. And in a decent match, we have, I believe this is the semi-main, I could be wrong, we have Doug Williams and Daniel Bryan going at one another. And eventually in 16-13, despite a distraction from Bray Wyatt, like the lights go on and off a couple times, Daniel Bryan defeats Douglas Williams with the guillotine choke. I really need to change his move names. If I get one more time, I'm going to slap myself on the head. 82B, pretty good segment. Ooh, sorry about that, folks. Alex Riley versus Wade Barrett literally made me have to take a shit. So Daniel Bryan is in the ring after defeating Doug Williams, like the little piss baby nerd he is. And he starts to do the yes chant, but he gets a microphone, and he goes, "Let me tell you something about what the yes chant means. Why I started doing the yes chant. It's a symbol of hope. It's a symbol of, it's basically when he talked about, the yes movement and what it means. He rode the waves of it. So in this universe, there was no humiliating defeat at WrestleMania. So it's basically more along the lines of, like, it helps people, and, it shows that I'm with them and they're with me. It goes, Bray Wyatt, I'm an idiot. The WWE Universe has not influenced me. I like to think that I influenced them somewhat, but we are equals. Not like you. You want to rule the world, have the whole world in your hands. We will stand one as united. I may not be Bryan Danielson anymore, but Daniel Bryan will still make you tap or snap just as well. I may do the yeses, but make no mistake, I'm coming for that ass, boy. And at Survivor Series, I'm going to make you tap out. And we have our main event of the evening, in a really good match, all things considered, who's involved with it. Kofi Kingston does defeat Austin Aries. Austin Aries pushes Kofi to the limit, goes almost 20 minutes with him, but eventually, and we also have The Miz running in with cracking Kofi Kingston, but Yujiro Takahashi evens the odds, still pissed off at Austin Aries for talking all that smack and beating him up last week on Raw. Kofi Kingston hits the SOS and secures the victory in our main event of the evening. And of course, we get a smorgasbord angle. Austin Aries fights with Yujiro Takahashi. Morrison and The Miz go at it. Triple H runs down Kofi, but the heels are forced to retreat a little bit, and Triple H is rocking away, but Kofi goes, "You know what? No. We got one more Raw until then. And you know what? Triple H, I think CM Punk is right. I think you're looking a little tired, buddy. So how about this? A warm-up match on Raw, the three of you versus the three of us. I want your ass, Triple H. You cost me the title just as much as Miz did. So let's go." And Triple H goes, "You know what, Kofi? Fine. What better way to prepare myself for Survivor Series than to put you down with a pedigree 1 week earlier." Or a couple days earlier. Fuck, I ruined it. So yeah, Triple H is going to be in action. I'm going to pre-book that now for Raw. Sorry, you can see the amount of matches that are there. I'm not sure if you can even see what's happening because it only records so much shenanigans here. So, but it is going to be Austin Aries, Yujiro Takahashi. The Miz, Triple H, Austin Aries versus Yujiro Takahashi, Kofi Kingston, and John Morrison, Mr. King of the Ring, by the way, for Raw in our main event. So we built up the main event, and we end this show. The 96A, same as last week, all things great, building up to to Survivor Series, great match, and I love that you guys are all watching. I'm trying to get to Survivor Series probably by this weekend, at least record it, and then render it and have it uploaded eventually at some point. I'm not too sure. But I want to thank everybody for watching, and I will see you guys for the next episode of Friday Night SmackDown.